Welcome to Dylan Mushroom TV. Today I am going to show you how to grow mushrooms in big bags. I will show you how I prepared the substrate, the way I put them into the big bags and the two methods that I used in pasteurizing the bags. I will also show you how I inoculated the bags with the grain spawn. In addition to that, I will show you how I incubate the bags. And the best part is how I harvested the mushrooms from these big bags. So, watch until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and to hit the notification bell to be informed of our next video. Mushroom substrate refers to the material on which mushrooms grow. Different types of mushrooms require different substrates, but generally, substrates are composed of organic matter that has been inoculated with mushroom spawn, which is the vegetative part of the mushroom that can grow into the fruiting body. Common materials used as mushroom substrate include straw, sawdust, wood chips, composted manure, and various agricultural wastes such as corn cobs, cottonseed hulls, and soybean hulls. The substrate must be pasteurized or sterilized to remove any competing microorganisms and provide a clean environment for the mushroom spawn to grow. Different types of mushrooms require different substrate recipes and preparation methods, and the process of preparing the substrate and inoculating it with mushroom spawn is an important factor in mushroom cultivation success. Pasteurizing mushroom substrate is a crucial step in mushroom cultivation to prepare the substrate for inoculation with mushroom spawn. Pasteurization helps to kill off any harmful microorganisms and potential competitors for the mushroom mycelium, allowing the mycelium to colonize the substrate without interference. The exact method of pasteurizing mushroom substrate may vary depending on the type of substrate being used in the cultivation method. However, a common method involves heating the substrate to a high temperature of around 80 to 100 degrees Celsius for several hours. One common substrate for mushroom cultivation is straw. To pasteurize straw, it can be soaked in hot water for several hours to raise the temperature of the straw to the desired level. Alternatively, a steam pasteurization process can be used where the substrate is exposed to steam for a set period of time. Another substrate commonly used in mushroom cultivation is sawdust. To pasteurize sawdust, it can be mixed with water and then placed in sealed bags or containers. These containers are then heated to the desired temperature and held at that temperature for several hours. Another method is sterilizing mushroom substrate, which involves completely eliminating all microorganisms, including beneficial ones, from the substrate. This process is necessary in some cases where the mushroom species being grown is particularly susceptible to contamination by other microorganisms. The exact method of sterilizing mushroom substrate may vary depending on the type of substrate being used in the cultivation method. However, a common method involves using an autoclave or pressure cooker to expose the substrate to high temperatures and pressure for a set period of time. For example, to sterilize sawdust as a substrate, it can be mixed with water and placed in jars or bags, which are then sealed and sterilized in a pressure cooker or autoclave for several hours. Sterilization of substrates is more demanding than pasteurization and requires careful attention to detail, as any contamination during the process could result in a failed crop. Additionally, the use of high temperatures and pressure requires appropriate safety measures to be taken during the sterilization process. It's important to note that while sterilization can provide a completely clean substrate for mushroom cultivation, it can also be more expensive and time-consuming than pasteurization. Sterilization is typically only used when necessary, and pasteurization is often sufficient for many mushroom cultivation applications. Choosing a healthy spawn is crucial for successful mushroom cultivation. Spawn refers to the material that has been colonized by the mushroom mycelium and is used to inoculate the substrate. When selecting spawn, it's important to consider several factors to ensure it is healthy and viable. These factors include age. Fresh spawn is generally more viable than older spawn. It's important to check the production date and choose the freshest spawn possible. Appearance. The spawn should be white, fluffy, and free of any discoloration or signs of contamination. Any discoloration or off smell could indicate contamination, and the spawn should be avoided. Source. The source of the spawn is important, as it should come from a reputable supplier or producer. Choosing a trusted supplier with a good reputation can help ensure the quality of the spawn. Compatibility. The species of mushroom being cultivated should be compatible with the type of spawn being used. Some mushroom species may require a specific type of spawn to ensure successful growth. Storage. The spawn should be stored properly to maintain its viability. Spawn should be kept in a cool, dry place until it's ready to be used. By considering these factors when choosing a healthy spawn, you can increase the likelihood of successful mushroom cultivation and produce a healthy and bountiful crop. Mushroom incubation is the process of allowing the mushroom mycelium to grow and colonize the substrate before it is ready to fruit. This is an important step in the process of mushroom cultivation as it establishes a strong foundation for the mushrooms to grow from. The exact method of mushroom incubation may vary depending on the type of mushroom being grown and the substrate being used. However, a common method involves inoculating the substrate with the mushroom spawn and then incubating it in a controlled environment with proper temperature, humidity, and air exchange. The temperature and humidity requirements for incubation will vary depending on the species of mushroom being grown, but most require a temperature range of 20 to 28 degrees Celsius for oyster mushrooms and a humidity level of 80 to 90%. Proper air exchange is also important to prevent the buildup of carbon dioxide and to supply the mycelium with fresh oxygen. During the incubation process, it's important to monitor the growth of the mycelium and ensure that it is healthy and free from contamination. Any signs of contamination, such as mold or bacteria, should be dealt with immediately to prevent it from spreading to the entire substrate. Once the mycelium has fully colonized the substrate, it will be ready to move on to the next stage of mushroom cultivation, which is typically the fruiting stage. At this point, the environmental conditions will be adjusted to stimulate the growth of mushrooms from the mycelium. Harvesting mushrooms is the final step in the process of mushroom cultivation. The exact method of harvesting may vary depending on the type of mushroom being grown and the specific cultivation method used, but the general principles are the same. When harvesting mushrooms, it's important to consider the following factors. Timing. Mushrooms should be harvested when they are mature and fully grown, but before they begin to release spores. Harvesting at the right time can ensure that the mushrooms are at their peak flavor and nutritional value. Technique. The proper technique for harvesting will depend on the type of mushroom being grown, but generally involves gently twisting or cutting the mushroom off the substrate. It's important to avoid damaging the substrate or other nearby mushrooms. Cleanliness. The harvesting tools and hands should be clean and free from contamination to prevent the spread of harmful microorganisms. Frequency. Mushrooms can be harvested multiple times during the fruiting period, but it's important to allow time between harvests for new mushrooms to grow. Post-harvest handling. Once harvested, the mushrooms should be handled with care to avoid damage and contamination. They should be stored in a cool, dry place until they are ready to be used. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your harvested mushrooms are healthy, flavorful, and safe to eat. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this, you can also share this video. You can hit the like and subscribe button to be updated of our next videos. See you in our next video.